preserve the creativity, because without that in our sector you are dead.
But if someone does something wrong, really wrong, how do you teach them?
If someone make mistake doing something, I have a lot of respect. If someone make mistake because they are not used to think about what they are doing, in this case,
Hi everyone, for Label Ventures, I am Giorgio Salvati and you're watching Human Equity, where the stories of failures become the root of success. Today's episode is called The Brand Fixer. He's a true fashion titan with over 30 years spent transforming iconic fashion powerhouses, leading international teams through the 90s, bringing structure to Moschino after the 2008 crisis, and again as CEO leading Twinset for the last decade with fearless clarity and discipline. Please welcome someone who truly knows what it takes to lead, build, and transform a brand. Alessandro Varisco. Oh, thank you very much for joining us today.
thank you to you for your invitation.
For sure, the amazing journey that you went through your entire career must have started from somewhere. But for sure, I see you as, when people talks about ventures, I see you as Mr. Wolf. Have you ever seen Pulp Fiction?
I saw a long time ago, but I remember Mr. Wolf, I remember the approach. Let me say that is really characterized and is something that can be very close to me.
You know, to us, Mr. Wolf is always some guy who comes there when the crash has happened, the disaster has happened, and is there to fix or to find solution. And how do you feel that resonate with you?
Let me say that when you join a company, first of all, you have to learn where you are, because otherwise you run the risk to make a mistake. You have in your mind your structure, your identity, but every company, thanks to the DNA of the company, has to learn. You have to learn how is the real DNA that is behind and beyond the name of the company, the people, and so on. So when you enter, first of all, it's really important to learn. And then, after learning, to act slowly, but in a really precise way.
And what about you? How did you start? I mean, how did you start your journey? Because
unfortunately, I started a long journey due to the fact that I have the same age of the dinos. This is the problem. But this means that I have a huge experience. So good. That's good. Let me say that I was keen about fashion when I was young, 16 years old. One cousin of my father had a multi-brand, you know, the brand, the stores where you sell a lot of stuff, a lot of brands and so on. And I asked to him to have the possibility to work there because I was really keen about fashion, a women multi-brand store. Let me say after two months, because I usually, when the school was finished, so in the inter-season, the summary season, and let me say that I always acted, say the truth to the women, not just to sell, but why do you need this dress? Why do you need this jacket? Which kind of occasion you have? And you want to wear this. And telling the truth, no, this is not good. You are not nice with this one, but in my opinion, you are better with this and so on. Telling the truth, what I discovered, due to the fact that I was really keen about fashion, I had a lot of loyal customers, but I was 16 years old. So from one side, a lot of customers that love me. On the other side, a lot of employees that hate me because I was the cousin of the owner. So I was a little bit challenging, you know. But thanks God, I was there just in July and in June and July. So not so dangerous for the selling people, you know. But on the other side, started there. But when I was 23 years old, to 22 and a half, let me say that I was called by my dean, because I did my high school in a college, and they told me, Alessandro, unfortunately, the mathematician and physics professor is not in a good shape. Can you substitute him? And I went to the school to teach in a feminine college, mathematics and physics.
Amazing.
Yeah, in 1988. And I went there. The challenge was, okay, I enter in February. Okay, I stay till June. That's the maturity, the degree.
Sure.
After that, I leave. At the end, I had the 4th and the 5th year. And let me say that I was a professor, substitute, an old professor of, if I'm not wrong, 78 or 79 years old. You can imagine the impact.
My God.
Yeah, because all the women, young girl, 19, 18 years old, with passing from an 80 years old man to a 22 and a half year man, that I was a basketball player, I was a model, you can imagine, long hair, completely different. But let me say that has been the best experience that I did in my life when I left after 3 years and a half, due to the fact that all the parents.
So you did that for 3 years and a half.
3 years and a half, you know why? 2 years and a half.
You felt like the Indiana Jones effect, the one.
No, but you know why? Because after 6 months, when I said, okay, thank you very much, fantastic experience, I was really tough as a teacher, because my best teacher was the toughest one, you know what I mean. So the parents called me with the dean and they told me, Alessandro, why you want to leave? And I said, because my job, I just finished to study to do something that.
So you were 25,
man. I was 23.
Yeah.
Was 23.
When you started, when you were?
I started, I was 22 and a half. And when I left, I was 25.
Okay.
And they said, I have to go. I have to go because it's not my cup of tea.
Sure.
But no, we want to pay you after the school in order to maintain, because my son, fantastic.
Amazing.
This was my experience. But I was really keen about fashion. And after, and I started in 1993 in GFT. That was a fantastic company with a lot of brand, but where the business was not so huge. Fashion was fantastic, so I learned a lot about fashion there with women and with men. But due to the fact that I studied economy, they told me, due to the fact that GFT was a license with Valentino, Armani, and so on, I was a selling man. I was a seller. I started selling Valentino, and in northern Italy, every 6 months, I grew up a little bit in career. Till in 5 years, I was commercial director for Italy. So sales director.
Of the entire group or just of a brand, specific brand?
No, for the group. But unfortunately or fortunately, GFT sold Valentino. I was the only one that from GFT, I went to Maison Valentino.
Right.
And starting from that, I did my journey along a lot of brands, Valentino, Versace, Ferré, Moschino, and now Twinset.
And when did you realize you were very much into creating your path, your career?
I realized immediately, let me say, because when I joined GFT, the proposal was to be a sales assistant, and I was a seller in Fininvest. But I said, who cares what I have to do today? It's important what I want to be in some years. So for me was to have the vision, because I was really keen. And let me say that I remember my first day with Marea Bianca. Do you know the car?
Sure.
At the stoplight in Milan, with a lot of people open the door. Sorry, you are a taxi. No, I am not a taxi. You can imagine. But it was a fantastic experience, because I started to create something with the fashion, with my love.
What was GFT managing? What were the brands managed by GFT?
Valentino, Armani, Sazza. One part was private label, that was not my part, and one part was with Ungaro, Valentino, Armani, and Armani and Caravan.
God, that's
fantastic.
That's a training.
Very, very good.
That's a training school.
Training, because of the possibility that they gave me in order to attend in the production for the men, understanding the fabrics, understanding the shape for the men and for the women. So if today I can speak the same language of the creative director is due to the fact that I had the chance, thanks to GFT, to learn a lot about shape, about fabrics, about all the stuff. And this is something that I bring with me for the whole life.
Well, could we also say that sometimes people are just about waiting to say their own thing? Very few are listening. That is something which really annoys me, right? When people they're not listening at you, whatever you're saying. They're just waiting to speak out and say whatever they need to say.
But you have to listen if you want to say something very brilliant. Otherwise, you are dead before starting. I totally agree with you.
In fact, I believe that period where you were a teacher might have helped you to wait for a good reply.
Yeah. Let me say that
or a good
the
conversation.
first step that when I left, I wrote a letter saying, I hope to give you maximum 50% of what I learned, because it's so huge that I'm more than sure that I've given you 50% is a lot, because I learned a lot. You know why? Because when you study, you have your system in order to study mathematics and physics. You have your system, you study, you make the exercising. But when you have to explain formulas, equation, and so on, no one has your same method. You have to explain the same argument in different ways in order to catch all the classroom completely different. So if I have to think about the experience, first of all, holistic view is what I learned as a first, second, to listen a lot. Otherwise, if you don't listen. And third, at the first sight, to understand if someone was prepared due to the fact that I've studied or not. Fantastic. So that's, in my opinion, is a school of life, to have the possibility to teach something. And in my opinion, you learn more than what you can give them.
And what about, I'm thinking always, someone like you must have been on a number of agendas, and when there's a problem, who do you call? And as I imagine, to me, you are a brand fixer, fixing a path, fixing a way, a road, a yellow road, where maybe at the end of the road there's a beautiful Esmeralda, right?
Right.
City. What makes you accept the call? Someone calls you today and maybe tells you about, certain brands and the situation the brand is. What makes you accept that call? What makes you say, well, I'm going to think about it. I'm going to be offered, well, if someone offers you a challenge, someone offers you the possibility to lead a company, what makes you say, yeah, I can do it?
It's a fantastic question. Thank you very much, Giorgio. Let me say that, first of all, it's something that comes from my belly and from my soul. I am a curious man, for sure. And I'm an enthusiastic man, for sure. If the offer touch my soul, who cares if the possibility is like a mountain rose like this, or if very, very flat? Who cares? I'm not afraid about it. I need something that touch my heart and touch my soul. That is the first. Second is, I'm a sportive man. For me, it's not just okay to attend a match. No, it's to win the match. Otherwise, let me say, when I play tennis, when I go bicycle and so on, when I go riding, let me say that for me, just okay, I did some exercise. Who cares? I need to make a huge effort. This is my cup of tea. Let me say that in the office, you never said, or I don't remember, but in Capi, where I live during the week, and where I work, the CEO for me is not the acronym of Chief Executive Officer, is Chief Energy Officer. Why? Because I think that my first job is to guarantee to my colleague, to the team, that we need energy, and for me is to give them, to deliver them energy. Otherwise, you are dead before starting.
I love that. The chief energy officer, it's something incredible.
And it's written in blue because, in my opinion, the energy has to be blue. So studying the colors, not just the chief energy officer.
Human equity really needs your support to keep growing. If this conversation resonates with you in any way, subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Thank you, guys. This is so important to us. I mean, that's a curiosity. So your staff, the person who manages the souls that are part of your developments, your collaborators, or your colleagues, do they pass through you then? I mean, that's a role you also want to be involved in a process. When you hire someone, you want to be involved in that process heavily to understand the individual you're hiring and you'll be working with.
Yes. For me, it's important to understand who is the person that can join us. You know why? Because, in my opinion, the value is the first barometer. Why? Because if someone is tired before starting to work, let me say that I don't like. Maybe he's a professional. We need people that are enthusiasts. It doesn't exist the best and the ideal company. It doesn't exist the best and the ideal boss. It doesn't exist. This is a tale. The reality is that it exists a company where there's a team, where the boss, in my opinion, has to indicate where is the direction, has to be able to lift all the people and to be lifted by the people, because otherwise, if you are a boss that is care about someone can overpass you, you are a bad boss. Why? Because you try to push all your team down without having the possibility to grow. In my opinion, the best boss is someone that you have the opportunity to grow, and maybe, if you're able, to overpass myself. Why? Because I can beneficiate from the lifting effect and to become better than in the past. This is important for me. So, for me, it's really, really important to understand which are the people that could be part of our company at a certain level. Other level, I don't have the possibility to see all the company, because we are around 1,000 people, so it's impossible. But let me say that in the first year, my first job was to speak with everyone, because, in my opinion, we have, as we said before, is more important to listen than to speak about something that is new for you, and so you don't know.
What's the biggest rule you've broken?
Well, a lot of
Not
rules.
the biggest.
The biggest one was in Twinset. When I joined Twinset, frankly speaking, I was sure that Simona Barbieri, the old founder and the creative director, I was stronger than what I do. And I put a person in the communication very strong. The result was that one night she called me and she said to me, Alessandro, I'm exhausted. Tomorrow I will leave the company. I was in a sea without blue water, you can imagine. And this is, I underestimated completely the character of the person that, in my opinion, he remains a fantastic person, very close to the knitwear, very close to the company. And in my mind was, okay, there's Simona Barbieri, that is a fantastic person that can be the president, and they have to structure with people that can do the same job in a process very well structured, in order to be more retailer, because to be a retailer, it doesn't means just to open the store. It means to have the right product at the right moment, with the right price, with the right quality, and to have right people that can sell you not just the product, but the emotion that there's behind and beyond. Unfortunately, I underestimated this, and I lost Simona Barbieri. But I always consider Simona Barbieri a genius. Because of her, I went and I joined Twinset 10 years ago.
If this conversation gave you something, help Human Equity grow, subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It really helps us bring a new guest and keep sharing stories you won't hear anywhere else. Thank you, guys. When you step into something as big as that environment, I'm sure, but maybe not just in that specific environment, because I'm sure someone like you have seen many sized environment, small ones, middle ones, and of course, big ones throughout this journey. There is what do you do? I mean, how do you, what is the first thing you look into a brand that is coming out of a crisis? Is there any specific ingredient you want to set immediately into the recipe of success? And if I may, where is that ingredient? Where did you learn to put that ingredient in place in order to sustain your previous mistakes? If you haven't did any mistake, of course.
But let me say that my first approach is to accelerate in order to change everything immediately. But let me say that I consider this a huge mistake. As I told you before, in my opinion, first of all, you have to, it's like when you have a flight. When you land, before knowing where is a bar, where is a restaurant, where is the hotel, you have to better understand where you are, because otherwise, and when you arrive in a company, first of all, you have to understand which is the DNA, which are the people where you have to work, what are their skills, which are the main priority that you need to face in order to adjust and to grow with the company. So I don't like to come to a company and to bring all my team, people that I met maybe in previous experiences. No, it doesn't make sense. You know why? Because maybe this kind of people in the new experiences, that they don't fit with the new experience.
They might not work.
Okay. So, first of all, instead of accelerating in the first moment, in my opinion, it's better to understand. For instance, when I joined Moschino, my first question was to call my communication manager, Monica Paparcone, and to say, sorry, okay, because, when I joined, I remember the first day, all the Moschino Milan was with the employees, with the president, Mr. Ferretti, a fantastic guy. Alessandro, congratulations, we believe in you. So this is Alessandro. He introduced myself. Okay. I went, after the introduction, I went to my office, I closed the door. My first question was, and now? Because Moschino was not so famous. I was coming from Ferré, Versace, completely different. And I remember Moschino. And I need to better understand the DNA. So I called the communication manager, the marketing manager, and I said, do you have something in order to better understand Moschino DNA? And I remember that she brought to me a lot of lookbook. Do you know what are the lookbook? No? Where you can find best dresses, maybe not so nice, pants, look, and so on. But okay, I saw a lot of stuff, but without understanding anything about the company. So I called back. And she immediately understood that I am not so light, because if I need something, I continue to call in order to have it. And I tell, thank you very much for the book. I saw a lot of stuff, but you don't have something. And let me say that thanks God, she told me, Alessandro, we have a short movie with a lot of quotes from Franco Moschino. And this is my favorite short movie that is always with me. And starting from this short movie, I moved the strategy of the company for the next 7 years. Because you have to understand where you are. And Franco Moschino said a lot of quote with the real intention of Franco Moschino about his company. And this, in my opinion, is the best thing that you have to do.
Thank you.
Thank you too. You know, when you enter into a new company, the problem is that if you are the CEO, you have to be, first of all, the leader. But leader, it doesn't mean that you have a position. You need an action, not a position. To be leader, in my opinion, it means to be more active than the other. And who cares about the position and the name CEO? Who cares? Is what you are doing. Because otherwise, you are not a leader. You are a person that is at the top of the pyramid, but that's it. But no one follow you. If you want to be the maker of a strategy, sharing with the other people, otherwise, it's important that you is the first in action.
My father used to say, my father is a military guy, right? So as a general, he always said to me, you know, a true leader is when he's not there.
Yeah.
Because it means he has done his job on leading his colonel or his army.
They can continue without having you in presence. Absolutely.
This episode of Human Equity is supported by Spirit Torino, the Italian excellence in art of listening. These are not simple devices. They are engineered and crafted musical instruments where sound and words reach us exactly as the author intended. It is a celebration of human equity at its finest. I believe in Spirit Torino. I believe in excellence over mediocrity because mediocrity is a mere accumulation while excellence creates emotions, belongings, truth, and beauty. If you want to know more, you'll find all the details in the bio. So when a company is in a situation where he's not really dead, he's not alive, or he's not lively, active, I call it a zombie effect. How do you manage that kind of situation where you have a kind of a dormant situation where you are full of excitement, full of ideas, you have talked to all your people, and you talk to all your colleagues, because that's the beauty of companies. You find peers where you can, in an osmosis way, you can basically create new ideas. So how do you, when you find yourself in that zombie effect, how do you move on?
First of all, let me say that after speaking with and after considering all the people that you have on board with you, in my opinion, there are some people that they are not wrong, but maybe with you they don't work. So first of all, okay, but you have to change it, because maybe they in another situation can give the best that they have, and with me they are not in the right shape. You know what I mean?
And how do you win back the trust of the other people, of the company that has been left by itself throughout those years or months that have been without your leadership, for instance? I mean, what is going to be happening in your environment? How do you build that trust again of those new employees to you that might become your new arm to get into Bauer?
Yeah. Because I think that is important. If me and you today we decide that tonight we want to spend our time in a restaurant, it's not just to say, okay, we see in the restaurant. You need the name, and maybe you need the address because there's another restaurant that with the same name. To be a leader is the same, and to you know to work with people is the same thing. You don't need just to say, okay, see you tonight, or we have to go there. How we go, and maybe if during the path there are some obstacles, you have to be ready to change your idea. Otherwise, you go against the wall. And for this reason, in my opinion, you can maintain a fantastic relationship with your team. And first of all, you need a real clear assumption. The responsibility of what you are doing is mine. But if something is successful, you are the key point. So if I share with you that you want to do this tent black, for me, if the shareholder don't like the black, it's my responsibility, it's not yours. But if black is the best color, I have to thank you because you suggest me black. So this it means to be leader. Otherwise, why? I'm not afraid about to manage. If you are a leader, you are a captain. And due to the fact that today the company are not just a company where they have to sell the product. They have to sell a storytelling. They have to sell a way of being part of a community. You are the leader, you have to take your responsibility. That is the sum of the responsibility that everyone could take. Because you need that they take responsibility in order to grow, and if you are smart, thanks to the growth of the other people, you can grow again, and you can become better, and you could be ready for another challenge, maybe bigger.
That's a very interesting concept. For sure, I've personally always fought with situations such as creativity and business. Maybe the creativity is not fit for the growth of the business. Yeah. You mentioned just now a similar situation. But in situation where you have your shareholders who are just focused on the business, how do you mitigate the fact that in a way or in another, you have to have your an ingredient, which is creativity, in place, not just the business. So how do you cope with business and creativity?
I try to preserve the creativity because without that, in our sector, you are dead. On the other side, I try to gain time with the investment fund because it's fantastic my job. Why? Because you have to work with creative directors that they are thinking today, that is the end, almost the end, in the middle of November, they are thinking about the autumn winter 2026-2027. So they are used to think ahead, and they are used to fly, because otherwise they are not creative, But the problem is that I need to be real, because on the other side, I have my shareholders that they want an EBITDA, they want a cash, they want a turnover, and so on. So, which is the real job that I have with the creator? That is fantastic. First of all, to speak the same language. But on the other side, I usually say, you are my guide in terms of creativity. And you have a white paper where you can draw what you want. But let me be frank with you. You have to stay on the paper. If you write on the table, I cut your hands. This is the let me say, the relationship that I try to build with them in order to have, from one side, the shareholders that, okay, we give you the time. From the other side, to say them, okay, fly, but let me say that after the takeoff, we have to land.
How will you punish those people?
I usually, let me say that every week I try to better understand if they are on the paper, and I plunge with them. When I can, I do it.
But if someone does something wrong, really wrong, how do you teach them?
Fantastic. I call him or I call her. And let me say that for me it's important to explain why they did a mistake, to give them a second chance. Because if you do something, you have the chance to make a mistake. Otherwise, you are perfect, you are a god. Okay, but You have to tell me 6 numbers from 1 to 90, and that's it. I don't want to work it. But let me say that if someone make mistake doing something, I have a lot of respect. If someone make mistake because they are not used to think about what they are doing, in this case, 1, 2, 3 option, but the third one is the last one, maybe the second one, frankly.
I respect that. A company, it's always a democratic environment.
Yes, he's a human being due to the fact that is composed by human being.
Every organ, in fact, needs to function in a certain way, right?
So you need blood pressure, you need the heart, but you need a process that is very clear. Otherwise, if you don't eat, you run the risk to that. If you don't drink, and you have to give food, you have to give water to the organization, because the company is a human being.
We reached out to a person which is so close to you, and we asked that person to send you a message, if he could summarize that message in such a way. So I'm going to hand out to you a card, and I want you to read it. Well, you can keep it for yourself, you can share it, and please, if you can tell us, what you think about why do you feel that that question might be, picking up, and then we just want to see how do you react. This is for you.
Thank you. Carlo Piana.
Yes.
A brother, not a friend, a brother. Tomorrow still exists tomorrow. Yeah, for sure. Because I'm an optimistic man. Because what I didn't have time to do today, for me tomorrow is important in the sport. With Carlo, I have always tomorrow we have to do this, we have to do this. Because in my opinion, in your life, if you are a leader, you have to train people in order to do something, because with the sportive experience, you have the chance to be very close to your friend, because you are exhausted, because you have a beautiful view, because the life has a beautiful view, but you have to climb in the life. And for this reason, in my opinion, to think that tomorrow is another day, and is a day where you are different, due to not better or worse, I don't know, but you are different thanks to the journey that you started a long time ago, and every day thanks to your experience, you have different. And tomorrow there's another day where you can, due to the fact that I'm really curious, you can get a lot of sensation, you can get a lot of emotion, due to the fact that you don't know what will happen tomorrow. It's fantastic. So this is something that I believe a lot. But Carlo knows me very, very well.
Yeah, he was indeed very excited to give you that that message.
Yeah.
And I feel you guys are close. Of
They're
course,
very close.
You have good friends, I would say.
Yeah, we are good friends, and let me say that we try when we are in some places, try to do a lot of sport together.
In fact, we actually interview few people, around your network, they all gave us the same sentiment, that your energy, it's contagious. In such a way, people are completely overwhelmed by this positiveness that surrounds you.
That's good.
I met you many years ago, and I never forget the few things that you taught me. That the energy has to be the real ignite of or ignition, I would say, of every venture. I'm trying to build our business along with my partners in a way that we truly understand how important is this ingredient.
Yeah.
Sometimes people are sleepy, or say maybe they are tired, they are no longer curious. So what we try to give to our parties, all our environment, is energy. And you are an
Thank you very
enormous
much.
amount of energy.
Yeah, because let me say that
Provider.
what I learn in my life is enthusiasm. Every day I thank God to be awake and to have the possibility to live a lot of different things. For instance, today for me is the first time that I spent 2 hours like being in holidays, in a studio. And let me say that for me is important because it's something that tomorrow, thanks this occasion opportunity, I would be different. For sure, because we are the sum of the experience that we did.
Thank you.
Thank you to you.
But it's the good thing is when you really understand that people around you have understood you.
Yeah.
What that makes you,
Yeah. If I can speak with from when I have to speak about my friend, I think that this is fantastic because during the fact that you live a lot of situation and emotion together, you can see your friend completely naked.
we chose this format to make you hear the music because we feel that's the best expression of hearing. It's a musical instrument. So what we really think of that specific product is that will make you feel exactly what you're going to hear in a way which we hope will maybe raise some emotion, maybe raise some thoughts, anger, whatever is that output. It's
To be to be ready to face all the challenge that the life could present you. That is important. Why? First of all, let me say that these headphones are fantastic. They are amazing because
Thank
it's
you.
like
They are amazing.
is pure music. It's not just to listen to music, but is listen pure music. That is make the difference. And regarding to the music, let me say that in my opinion is important because there are a lot of constraints in your life, not that can present every day because it's the life, up and down, like the stairs. And this music, in my opinion, it means that you have to be ready, and you have to be positive always when you are going up, but you have to be always positive when you are going down. That's in my opinion the different approach because it's an opportunity. Because if you fail, you have the opportunity to learn, and maybe in the future, thanks to this learning, to make a different way of acting, and so to make a different behavior and to take a different behavior.
What do you really see, if I may? What do you see in your future?
In my future, let me say that
I would say
sure, if I think at at candles, and what I lights on in the past are a lot. If I look back, I saw a lot of candles in the wind. If I look at, I don't know, but let me say that what I see today is that for the future is that what I had to do in my life. Thanks God I did. But if God give me the possibility to continue, I have a lot of things to do, still to do. And this is because every day I usually approach the day with the curiosity, like if my last one, in reality, with the same curiosity as was my first one. And so this contrast and this to see the same day in two opposites, the last one and the first one, in my opinion, is the perfect balance to live in deep your journey.
fantastic. May I ask another question, which sometimes comes as a consequence to what you said? So, what's your sentiment of leadership, then how would you define leadership in your future or upcoming future? Would that leadership be going in a direction based on what you already know? Because if the world has changed, and has changed since 2020 pretty much so, and again, we have been having a lot of earthquakes, 21, 22, 23, 24, every year is an earthquake.
Yeah.
How would you define your next steps into a leadership role that I'm sure, I'm kind of sure, because I'm not you. How would you then point on your references as a guidance to the next path or the next step?
Thank you. Smart question. Let me say that there are two different floors in order to speak about the leadership for the future. First of all, is leadership, in my opinion, is something that you have to continue to feed because not due to the experience that you had, you are a leader and you arrived. That's your first fault to be a leader. In my opinion, is something that you have continue to feed and to move. Second is, and you have to feed with curiosity, with listening the people. And in my opinion today, today thanks to the technology, there's a lot of possibility to say a lot of things, but there are few people that are able to listen to these things. And in my opinion today is more important to listen than to say, because to say is easy. You have a lot of instruments, technology, today is completely symmetric, the technology, the information technology, so you can say a lot of messages, you can say a lot of things, but who is able to listen? And this is the first thing, in my opinion, that you have to be open to listen. Why? Because today, we are living in a quick mode, very quick mode, and very easy to say you make a mistake by, if it's someone that is part of you made a mistake by, academic ag, and that's it. But in my opinion, today is definitely important, if you're a leader, to better understand why this person did a mistake. And to say to the other, this is something that I always say, so if someone is not going straight, it's not our problem to say, oh, look at, he's in the wrong direction. No, it's our main job. Has to be, hey, friends, come with us because we know where we want to go. That's the problem. That today, everyone is, there's everyone has to be tested. You have the test to enter the university, you have the test to join the company, you have the test for everything. If you are not tested, you are no one. Okay, but the human part of a company, that is the behavior, that is what there's behind the person, that is your colleague, that the family, the memories, and so on. If you are able to understand these and you are open to listen, in my opinion, you can move the person in the right way. Third, in my opinion, and at the second floor, is that maybe you are not perfect to make this cup, but maybe you are perfect to feel what there's in this cup. So I listen to you in order to better understand which are your skills. And my job has to be to put you in the perfect path where you are comfortable with yourself, first of all, and with the others in second.
We asked another closest person to you to, based on the future, outcomes, or whatever they will be, to give you another message on another piece of note, which they want to slip into your pockets. So would you kindly have a look at this?
Yeah, thank you. This is my wife. Fantastic, my wife. Let me say that the person that is my North Pole, is my polar star, because as we said before, to have a woman aside you that can understand you is half of your job. Otherwise, you spend all the week working, and then when you go back to your home and you have your wife that shouting you in the ears, you're dead. If there's, in my opinion,
What did she wrote? Because I didn't.
no, she wrote that the better thing will be tomorrow. So they have to come.
Very similar to one of your best friends.
Yes, the best thing they have to come. And am more than sure because life is rich, and we have to be positive and we have to be open for the life. And let me say that this is something that with her I have no doubt that the best thing have to come.
And into that, you got this camera, and this camera. Is there anything you want to tell us that you are about to do or you wish to do, or there are any dreams you wish to achieve?
I have one dream for a long time that is to reach the peak of the Monte Bianco.
Wow.
Yes, this is something that you have to prepare your body, you have to prepare yourself. But this is my dream because the second one was to fly, but thanks God in Brazil with the parachute I went. Now my limit is to reach the peak of Monte Bianco. This is my dream, and let me say that if God gave me the possibility in order to have the right body, I wanted to reach it because this is my limit.
Alessandro, thank you for joining us. Thank you
Thank you
for enjoying this beautiful conversation.
Thank you to you because you have been able to take my hidden part, and that is not simple. So thank you very much, Giorgio.
Hi guys, Human Equity really needs your support to keep growing. If you made this far, something in this episode has probably touched you, made you think, or simply kept you company. Please subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. It really helps us bring in a new guest, keep sharing stories. Basically, you won't hear them anywhere else except the fact that this is a channel built around you, for you. Thank you.